Yo, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to teach you how to ride a motorcycle. This is going to be the very basics. So if you don't know anything, then this is the video to watch. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to look at the controls on the motorcycle. There's a lot going on. You're going to be using both hands and both feet to operate this motorcycle. So on the right side, this hand grip is your throttle. This lever is your front brake. This hand grip is nothing, doesn't do anything. This lever is your clutch. So if you can operate a stick shift car, this is going to be easy for you because it's the same thing. Just your clutch is going to be with your hand instead of your foot, and then your shifter is going to be with your left foot instead of your hand. So down here is your shift lever. All the way down is first, a half click up is neutral, and then a full click up is second, and then third, and then fourth, and then fifth. So all the way down is first. So you're gonna have to pull in the clutch and then shift. Whenever you shift, you gotta pull in the clutch. And then on the right side, your right foot is gonna be controlling the rear brake. So you have a brake for the front and then one for the rear. And when braking, you wanna use both. Most of your braking power is gonna be with the front brake, which is 80%. And then 20% is the rear brake. Alright, so we're about to ride the motorcycle. It's all warmed up. With the R3, we're lucky enough to have a gear indicator. So right now it's telling us it's in neutral. When it's in neutral, you don't have to pull on the clutch. It's not going to jump on you. When it's in neutral, you can rev the engine out. It's not going to move. So if you're just chilling or you're parked, put the bike in neutral and it's not going to do anything. But put the kickstand up. I'm going to put it in first gear and then watch what happens when I let go of the clutch. It just stalled on me. So when you have it in gear, you have to pull the clutch in every time you're at a stop, or else it's going to stall. So let's put it back in neutral. Start the bike up again. So yeah, it's gonna stall every time that you pop the clutch out like that when you're in gear. Alright, let's put it in first gear again. Alright, so there's a lot of play in the clutch right here where it's not doing anything. But if I start to let it out, the motorcycle starts to move. That's the sweet spot. That's the spot where you start rolling on the throttle. So as you're practicing, play with the clutch. You got to know the clutch. Find that sweet spot. So see, nothing right here, but watch me let off. Now the motorcycle's starting to move. I'm not doing anything. The motorcycle is doing that on its own. So find that sweet spot and then brake and then roll back. Find the sweet spot again. So for this motorcycle, it lets off like out here. If I let it out any further, it's gonna stall again. So you gotta find that sweet spot. It's moving, and then when it's at that sweet spot, that's when you lightly roll on the throttle. Alright, so just keep practicing that. So sweet spot, throttle, now we're moving. And then when you shift gears, pull the clutch, let off the throttle, shift. Gotta have the clutch in to shift, and you gotta have the throttle off to shift also. And whenever you're at different speeds, you got to be in different gears. Alright, so we're coming to a stop. I'm gonna shift all the way back to first. We're rolling, clutch in, brake, front brake and rear brake. Whenever you brake, it's best to brake with both the front and the rear. So we're setting off on a little hill. You gotta find the sweet spot really fast, or else you're gonna roll back. Find the sweet spot and then roll on the throttle. Sweet spot. Oh, I stalled. See? I waited too long. There we go. Right here is your tachometer. So when the revs get high and see it's getting louder, that's when you shift. So the revs are low. Once I get higher and higher and higher, the bike starts to scream. That's when you shift. This bike red lines at 12,500. So we can rev this out before we have to shift. So stop again, front brake, rear brake, and clutch in. We're gonna let off, we're gonna go, sweet spot, throttle. Clutch in, let off the throttle, shift up. Now we're in second. Hear the bike to scream again, clutch in, shift up, let off the throttle, roll on the throttle again. You want everything to be a smooth process. It's gonna take a while for you to get it, but just keep practicing. So you're up in those gears, and when you're slowing down, you gotta shift into lower gears, or else the bike is just gonna bog on you. You wanna stay in the right power range for the bike. So right now we're in third gear, just chilling, doing 25 to 30 miles per hour. But if I get any slower than this, I gotta shift to second gear. And then if I come to a stop, I go to first. And if I go any faster, shift to fourth. But once you get slower, it starts to bog. It takes a longer time to get to higher speeds, so you gotta shift down. Alright, so we're coming to a stop. You can shift down, second, then go to first, clutch in, brakes. Look, find a sweet spot, shift. See, you hear the bike just starting to scream? That's when you shift. You can shift without even looking at the tachometer. Just hearing the engine scream like that, it's like, please shift, please shift. So when you start to hear the engine scream like that, that's when you shift. You don't even have to look at the tachometer. You can just listen to the engine and you'll know when to shift. So I'll shift back down to second. See, it's getting louder and louder and louder. Shift. It is a beautiful day. Look at that lake. Also, when you're riding, make sure your arms aren't so stiff. You want your arms loose. And you want your legs hugging the tank. So arms loose, legs tight on the tank. And your feet firmly on the foot pegs. So your arms should be bent, not straight. Coming to a stop. Clutch, brake, brake. Check, sweet spot, throttle. Alright, so let's review with the motorcycle off. Alright, so you're letting off the throttle, starting to move, then that's when you're rolling the throttle. The bike's revving up, getting louder, let off the throttle, clutch in, and then shift up. And then when you shift up, let off the clutch easy, and then roll back on the throttle. Shift again, clutch in, shift up, and then roll on the throttle again. Now when you're going to a stop, pull the clutch in, and then hold the front brake and the rear brake. If you come to a stop and you're not pulling in the clutch and you're in gear, it's going to stall on you, it's going to jerk again. So anytime you stop, make sure you pull in the clutch. Unless you're neutral. Neutral, you don't need a clutch. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics. If you guys need more detail, please let me know. I'll make another video. I will make another video on counter steering and rev matching. So stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you later. Have a good day. Bye.